There we go.
You people are so demanding.
Thank you.
You're so hi, P. Strauss, and thank you, Greg Garcia, Rena Shear, Justin Glass, Mark Kurtz. We're here, and look, it is 7 minutes after the hour. We will give you the extra 7 minutes. You will get your same hour of greatness. We just, in all fairness, have you ever noticed how no good deed goes unpunished?
I know.
When when you try to help, let me tell you, folks, I'm going to give my partner here an attaboy. As he got here early this morning, and I got here, and it looked like you've seen that deal where they take the Japanese noodles and they throw them in the oil and it goes poof.
Yep.
And that's what it looked like here. There were wires everywhere, and my man was under the hood over here trying desperately. Scott Tompkins says great sound and video. I hope if you really don't hear that popping sound, we need to know. We
do.
Try daily to make this as crisp and clean an operation as we can do. And Ash was in here. I go, what are you doing here so early? He goes, man, I've got to fix that sound. I've got to fix it. And he was under the hood of this rig trying to get this done for y'all, because I'll tell you, it always sounds good to us.
It's great
It's a
in our headphones.
weird dynamic.
It's after the headphones, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't. BJ Nelson says, "What happened?" I don't know. I mean, we were trying to dissect, and look. These are really good at insurance. They are not good at electronic issues. At the end of the day, did you do anything more than unplug and replug? I mean, ultimately, there was a lot of interim activity.
But no, basically, I unplugged and plugged the microphones back in.
Which, by the way, we could have given to Cody to do.
Yeah.
Cody, go play plug. Cody, go play plug.
But we've done that before.
Scott Tompkins says maybe we should just give every Wade and Carter listener a set of headphones. Yeah. We would do that, but we would need a sponsor because now that number is pushing 40,000 listeners a day. I want to welcome everybody on KTMV in Corpus Christi, Texas. Those of you that watch us on television, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to see us. But the content is solid. Like just yesterday, before we get to the weather, and it's coming, look, it's cold, it's going to be hot. Before we get to the weather, just yesterday, Ash and I mused, have you seen Aaron Rodgers' last game? Quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about, well, he still threw for 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He's certainly better than Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
Maybe he goes to play for somebody else.
Probably better a backup than whatever the Cowboys have waiting.
No doubt about it. At 41. And when you're 41 in the NFL, a good morning, JP Hull, especially given, Ash, that all of the rules all favor the quarterback. If you have the life experience at 41 and you still have some semblance of some wheels, you can play till you're 45 years old in the NFL. Most of the balls are short throws anymore. I mean, Troy Aikman could still throw it 10 yards. But here's the deal. I also yesterday said, but have you seen the end of Mike Tomlin?
Yes, you did.
I said, is it time for the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, 19 years as the head man in Pittsburgh, is it time for him to move on? Mike Tomlin walked into his boss's office yesterday and said, it's time for me to step aside. I don't know any of the dynamic. I don't get the feeling that he was fired. I can't remember the head Shaka Khan of the Steelers, but I would recognize the name. It wasn't a Rooney. It's not like that easy. But he just said, I can't express the gratitude that I have for the commitment, the passion, the love that Mike Tomlin has brought to this organization.
But apparently won't coach in 2026 because he's got one more year under contract.
Yeah, it sounded to me a lot like when Jerry Jones goes, I would never fire him, and then like the next week the guy is fired.
Yeah.
So do I blame –
although there were no rumblings of Tomlin's tenure ending in Pittsburgh prior to him stepping down yesterday.
No, but there were lots of comments around the observation that he's kind of meh.
He hasn't really had a lot of playoff success, which is, I mean.
They won one Super Bowl under Tomlin in 19 years. And to Pittsburgh, that's a lot like the Cowboys. I mean, it is. They were really, really good in the 70s. That's not now. But anyway, so the Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at A.T. Deerland Feed. I'm going to throw a wrinkle at you here. You ready?
His last postseason win was in 2016.
Yeah. Man, that's 9 years ago. It just sounds like yesterday because the world is happening so quickly, but it's just not. It's 45 degrees under clear skies in Victoria, Texas, with a high today of 69. Supposed to get kind of windy this afternoon. There's a wind conditions expected around 1 o'clock. Gusts up to 16 miles an hour. To me, that's not windy. To me, that's the front nine at Colony Creek.
No
I
kidding.
mean, when was the last time you were on Colony Creek that you couldn't have, let up the jib and just sailed about 80 miles an hour down the loop? It's unbelievable. It's like there must be a funnel there. Yeah, it's always windy. If it's ever still there, it's the Holocaust. Unbelievable. Speaking of the Holocaust, you see all these people just wholesale dying in Iran? By the way, the new wrinkle
2,500, they're saying, now dead in Iran, protesters, basically most of them gunned down, although I believe a few of those who have died are around Revolutionary Guard members, but we're talking a handful compared to the tens of dozens, hundreds of dozens that have died on the streets of Iran protesting, basically with rocks and bottles and whatever they can find as their weapon of choice because, they took away their guns.
Yeah, we're being set up, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. The bonus is Deerland weather brought to you in Corpus Christi. 49 degrees in Corpus under mostly cloudy skies, heading to a high today of only 70. So here's what's happening. Right now, you are being groomed by the media, even the well-meaning media, even today on the Patriot Channel, Breitbart Radio. And the announcer just goes, it's wholesale slaughter in the streets of Iran. And they're just getting your head around the inevitable of a United States led, at the very least, if not a United States exclusive intervention in Iran. It is coming. Be ready for it. Get your head around United States troops cleaning up the mess in Tehran. These people have no water. It would be exactly like the city of Houston. We have no water. We have anarchy. We're killing people who disagree with us in the streets. Young people. I heard a story yesterday about a college-aged girl who is so fed up with the regime in charge. She was she was brought to an emergency facility and received stitches, Ash, in her face and said, please hurry, I've got to get back out with my friends. These are unarmed kids who have said, literally, I'd rather die than live under this regime. And the interests of the United States include a stable, doesn't have to be pro-America, but at least a stable Iran. There's 90 million people there.
The instability in the Middle East right now can all be traced back to Iran. They are funding Hamas, Hezbollah,
yes.
all
they're criminal.
They were buying oil from Venezuela or selling oil to China, who was then sending their fentanyl through Venezuela into the U.S. I mean, it all ties together.
And we can make all these apologies, right, for why we're going to do what we're going to do. But here's what you need to know. We are going to do something in Iran, and the reason is Russia and China. It's coming. You need to know that it is going to happen.
And here's what will happen. The media, who haven't covered this at all.
No, they don't care because they're not killing black people. They don't care. They don't care.
And because it's Iranians, the oppressors, killing their own people, as opposed to Israel killing the oppressors in Hamas
Right.
of their people. Because if Israel kills them, then Hamas must be the good guys. If
Right.
the U.S. goes into Venezuela, Maduro is the good guy all of a sudden by the media, right?
Exactly.
And the leftists. This is how the leftists and the media spin this crap. And half of this country falls for it.
You've got people, you have never seen anybody more ignorant than the guy in the United States who is screaming, "Free Palestine! Free Palestine!" That guy is an idiot. He's an idiot. Everybody needs their own country. Nobody gets upset that Israel gets attacked. October the 7th, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whatever it was, 2 years ago. Wholesale slaughter in the streets, machetes to little kids' heads, bodies laying everywhere.
Raping women and children,
Nobody
kidnapping
cared.
them all.
Nobody cared. They literally were like, well, it's those Jews. They had it coming. God, they're so hard to get along with. Have you ever tried to borrow money from them? I mean, what? So now you've got the same thing is going on. The oppressed in Iran are being wholesale shot by their government, and nobody cares. Everybody here is upset that ICE is trying to maintain law and order. ICE is doing what they are legally allowed to do. Can you imagine if ICE agents just started going, just mowing down people in the streets?
But they did the other day
Well,
in
they
Minnesota.
did that one lady.
Kidding.
Yeah.
It's not what happened at all.
Hi, Deidre.
Meanwhile, the leftists and Renee Good, whose poor choices led her to the life she lived, in which reportedly had custody of only one of her 3 children because
She was
an
meth
unfit
head.
mother.
She was a meth
And-
head who was paid to protest.
Apparently had meth charges against her, possession of methamphetamine, and would rather be out on the streets of Minneapolis trying to keep ICE from getting people like the list we read off yesterday of all the people ICE has rounded up in Minneapolis, all convicted of manslaughter or worse.
Yeah, the
And
list
I think sodomy, forced sodomy of a child and sexual assault of a child,
those people should
worse
just be
than
shot.
murder.
Yeah, they should just be killed. Good morning, Torn Bales.
This is who the left is protecting, and now they won't even talk about what's going on in Iran, but they're going to spin this to go, oh, this is all about oil. And they won't give you the nuance, because it will be a little bit about oil, because what it will do is it will stop Iran from selling oil to China and Russia.
It'll squeeze our enemies. So
And when Russia can no longer buy oil from Iran, guess what? The war in Ukraine might come to an end because they won't have the fuel they need for their planes and their tanks and their transport and their trains.
it's a big deal.
But they'll
a
say
big
it's all
deal.
about Trump wanting the oil for the U.S., which is not going to happen. And we don't need Iran's oil. We've got lots. But Donald Trump did yesterday, in a message, writing on Truth Social, help is on the way. We will be involved, and I don't want to be involved, but we will be involved.
Well, one thing about Trump, and I was listening to this morning on Mike Slater's program early, and he just talked about the fact that there's never been a more transparent president than Donald Trump. They pointed out that 74% of the speaking engagements that our president had last year, at 74% of them, he also allowed questions from the media. Unheard of. Under the Biden administration, we literally went weeks without hearing from Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Weeks. If you think our logic's mind-boggling, please call. If you don't agree with what we're talking and you think you can support it with more than your feelings, give us a call at 361-894-4020. To come in and make a blanket statement just exposes ignorance or an unwillingness to defend your position. So we're here. We ain't scared of nothing because I've seen the future and I can tell you what it's going to be.
And yeah,
we are Bluetooth
we've watched,
loaded. You can
we've
call
watched
right now.
this stuff consistently
Every day I
for
watch
10
it.
years.
Yep, for 10 years I've watched it, and I challenge you to go back to when I told you emphatically that something was going to happen, like COVID would be exposed or Joe Biden would not be the presidential nominee.
Or
People
Mike
laughed
Tomlin
at
will no
us.
longer be the coach of the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
Steelers.
People laughed at us. You guys are idiots. Biden's going to win in 2024. And you know what? We just weren't wrong. We saw it before the mainstream
You
media.
said it before anybody else that
I saw
Biden
it way
was going
before
to
the
be
mainstream media.
would not be their candidate.
What were they? Honest to goodness, they were like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Some of the fringe media started going, hey, you know what? There's a chance this Biden guy gets railroaded out of here.
I think it was February of.
Yeah, we talked about it in October.
No, I think you called it in February, and they started calling it in like May.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was months. So,
Mark
hey,
Kurtz, Ricky King, Greg Garcia on the podium, the second podium this morning.
right.
So
If you disagree and you have any logic to back up your thoughts, come on. If you have any doubt that, let's go back to Greenland. Ash and I told you 2-3 weeks ago, there's going to be some presence of the U.S. in Greenland. In fact, I even said at that time, I don't understand why we don't just cut a deal with Denmark and go build a big, huge base there. Now I know why we're not doing that. It needs to be sovereign United States water. It needs to be, when you come down, that area is very small. It needs to be American controlled sea space. That's why we have to have some type of formal arrangement, whether it be like the U.S. Virgin Islands, whether it be like Puerto Rico. You've got to have some arrangement with Greenland. Greenland themselves, Ash, what did they say about Russia and all of that? They said it was
Denmark
strategic.
said it. It was their own. There was their own internal. Their version of the CIA determining the threat of Russia and China in the Arctic. And because, remember, the narrative has been, oh, there's no threat of China or Russia in the Arctic. This is just Trump building his kingdom. This is Trump being the colonialist, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was
that's how they spin it.
Well, guess what? It turns out there is an intelligence report from 2025 from Denmark that says, yeah, there's been increased naval activity, submarine activity by the Russians around Greenland.
And in international waters, because there aren't any right there, the United States doesn't have the freedom to deploy like an under ice submarine legally. Legally, we don't have that freedom.
Neither does Russia, but they do it anyway.
That's right. But we can't do anything about it in international waters. But if we make
And Denmark
Greenland-
can't do anything about it because they have the
don't have a
GDP of
navy.
Missouri.
Right. They've got no money. If we make Greenland a territory of the United States, now you've got Russia breaking the law. You've got Russia breaking international law.
Clayton Helt, do these people riding not work?
Not in
No, well, they get paid to
Iran.
do this. So, yeah, well, they probably can't work in Iran. I mean,
Peter McNally says she was shot. You don't do that to a young, unarmed woman. None of that matters. In her car, her weaponized vehicle that she aimed at a police officer after running her mouth about, well, you better go get you something to eat, big boy. Well, that was her lesbian
Yeah.
lover. You better go get you something to eat, big boy, because we ain't going anywhere. Come at me. You want to come at us? And then
right after saying we don't hate you or whatever it was, she said to the ICE
drive,
agent, and
baby,
then,
drive.
Yeah, then they wanted to, Then
So
she
here's a
basically-
woman who's left her
I'm gonna
kids in
challenge
another
again.
state. Just put her down. I got no problem with that.
challenge anybody to go stand 6 inches in front of a car
And let me rev the engine and come at you.
and you make a determination which way my wheels are turned to see if I was going to hit you or not.
Hey, and let's just be honest and transparent. I don't think it ought to be his job to guarantee her safety.
I don't think, and we've said this before. I don't think she deserved to die, but her choices put her in that position. She chose to follow ICE. She chose to block ICE. She chose to harass ICE, who were going to serve warrants against the worst of the worst in this country illegally. We outlined the 20-some-odd people yesterday of what they were all convicted of, and all of them had standing deportation orders going back to 2004.
Right.
They've been in this country for too long committing crimes, and our soft on crime DAs and governments have let them out.
Greg Garcia says she drove her 2,000-pound car at an agent. She was not unarmed. Stop the false narrative, Pete.
And I agree. And I like you, Pete, but you're wrong here.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Here's what I don't understand. Pete is a smart guy and a good guy. If we just flip presidencies, because ICE has been operating in this country strongly since the Obama years. The media just only recently started making it, oh,
Because
Donald
they all
Trump's
have
a
Trump
tyrant.
derangement syndrome.
That's the truth. ICE has been arresting people all over the country for years. If somebody had done that and run a car at Justin Marr and his training kicked in and he said, I'm going to eliminate that threat. This woman's crazy. Don't be crazy and get in a car and take off. There you go. You're pushing it. You know who you are, and you're pushing it.
And here's the funny thing. I don't care about other people's podcasts.
No, I don't either. I don't either. But this is a 90-10 issue. 90% of the people, if you took them to the side and said, let me ask you this. If your son or your daughter was a law enforcement officer and was out doing something on a planned operation and had been followed from site to site all day by a group of crazy people, screaming, interrupting, broadcasting on their social media, here's where ICE is, and your daughter walks out into the street because another fellow officer had said, get out of the car, a direct order from a law enforcement officer, I'm going to arrest you, and there's the Article 2, Section 1, it's all there. It's against the law to interfere with an ongoing law enforcement operation. And that person turned their car and put it in reverse and then turned their wheels and aimed that vehicle at your son or daughter and accelerated. Do you honestly have a problem with your son or daughter unholstering their weapon and shooting that person? If you say yes, you're a liar.
I'm going to take it to another level here. Let's remove the law enforcement piece out of this in this scenario. Your son or daughter is being harassed by somebody on the streets, and the confrontation gets to a point where the harasser is in their vehicle. And your son or daughter makes a bad choice and stands in front of that car because they're still jawing at each other.
Right.
All of a sudden, that woman or person in that vehicle decides to step on the gas while your son or daughter, who has a concealed carry permit, is standing right in front of that car. And they decide to pull the gun out and shoot the driver because they fear for their life.
Right. No doubt.
There's no difference. You've got an idiot who shouldn't have been in her car, shouldn't have been harassing
somebody.
Shouldn't
have been at that scene. And the
no reason for her to be there.
The blatantly hypocrite left will tell you, well, these ICE agents, they've all got their identity concealed and they're all wearing masks. Here's why. Because when Obama was deporting people, the extreme right wasn't out there interfering. The extreme right wasn't doxing these people. The extreme right wasn't
threatening their
families or following them to work or following them home or vandalizing their property. But when you simply have a presidential change, all of a sudden the unhinged, ignorant, irrational, hypocritical left begins going, this is an outrage. These are just people seeking a better life. And they start attacking the officers because they have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm just telling you, if a baby was floating in the water and Donald Trump ran out there and picked it up right before the shark ate it, the leftist hypocrite fools, some of whom reside in our audience, except for Peter McNally, would say, Trump's starving the sharks. The sharks are just trying to eat.
No, not everyone's ignorant.
Not everyone's ignorant, but you are. Yeah. No, we don't engage with the pure contra narcissist anymore. So there you have it.
ICE is wrong on this one. Peter.
No, I don't see
She
how.
put herself in a position she had no business being in.
Fact. It wasn't like a, you know.
She wasn't
like
just
an
standing
organized
outside.
protest.
She wasn't just standing outside the ICE headquarters in D.C. with a placard. She was interfering with ICE agents as they were carrying out the execution of warrants in Minneapolis.
Right.
Once again, we read you the list. This woman would rather have Minneapolis filled with convicted murderers, sex offenders, child sex abusers, drug dealers, organized criminals, than our own ICE agents removing them from her community.
Absolutely.
Oh, which, by the way, was only her community of convenience for the moment, because it certainly appears like she had been following ICE around the country as they did their deportations in various cities.
Absolutely. By the way, if your goal in life, if your badge of honor in life is to be a naysayer against our little old program that doesn't have near the listenership of Joe Rogan, you are so irrelevant. You don't even realize how irrelevant you are. Folks, thank you to the Atzenhofer dealership, a South Texas tradition for over 100 years. Atzenhofer, they recognize the value of Wade and Carter, and we recognize the value of Victoria's
Recognize the value
dealership.
of the audience we have and is growing.
Absolutely. It's growing because the enlightened come and listen.
And some want to be entertained, and that's what we try to do.
Absolutely. Well, I think we do a pretty good job.
I think we do a good job of informing people and making see things from a different perspective.
Well, the perspective is correct again. Be ready for Venezuela to have a solid regime change. Be ready for Greenland to be somehow affiliated with the United States. And be ready for the United States to take care of the mess in Iran. And be ready for the world to be a better place.
Peaceful.
Absolutely. Went Services, Went for all your generator needs. Let Went help you with turnkey generator service. They can come out and give you an estimate today. Call Went Services. They're an authorized, preferred Generac generator dealer. They stand by their work, and they make all the connections with certified plumbers, certified electricians. They do what needs to be done for you. Get a hold of Went today. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Again, for over 100 years, the Chesnick family, Bobby Leon and his family, serving you and yours. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get in and see why. You just always do better at Chesnick. They are great folks, and they're a great, great friend of the program. USA Concrete Coatings, 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia and his team can come and help you and yours. Ash, I need you over here. Come, hang on a second, Pete, and Pete's on the blue line there.
All right.
And we'll get Pete back on. But USA Concrete Coatings can help you whether you want to sand it, seal it, stain it, or paint it. Push up the blue line. We'll talk to. We always like to hear from our friend Peter McNally. He's over in the Beaumont area. How are you, sir? First of all, Happy New Year. Haven't talked to you in a while. So Happy New Year. How are you?
Everything's going pretty well.
Are you
Thank you very
warm
much.
and are you healthy? Are you good, sir?
That's what the doctor says. I'm doing okay. I've got another another appointment here in another couple of weeks. But anyway, I think I'm doing okay.
Good for you.
Good to hear.
Set us straight, brother. Set us straight. Tell us what's happening. Thank you for having the courage to call. So many people just
Well-
simply don't.
You guys are complimentary about me. I can be complimentary about you.
Don't do it. It'll
Except-
blow your cover.
I mean, I've watched the video, numerous times, and her wheels are definitely turning to the right before she was shot. So I don't think she was intentionally trying to really hurt the guy. I really don't think so. I think in the heat of the moment, yeah, a lot of things happen, but for her to be shot at point blank range by an officer, that's way beyond law enforcement's what they teach and what they rule. I don't think any good cop is going to tell you that that man did the right thing.
Well,
So,
how about
you know,
this? Linda Christ adds, she should have been arrested earlier during the day for obstruction of justice, long before, in her opinion, she tried to kill a federal officer. I can't tell you that she did anything more than act just, bat nuts crazy. That's what she did. But when you act crazy in the middle of an ongoing law enforcement operation, you might get shot. I mean, she had no business being there. That's the unescapable fact.
I've stood in front of my car like that. I can't see the wheels and which way they're turned. Where
Well,
when
look
you're
at the
standing in
video.
front of hood.
He was bumped, though. Do you
Ash,
agree with
look
that?
at the video. The wheels are turning to the right before the car moves.
I can see that in the video. If you stand in front of your car, you can't see the wheels turn that way.
But did she bump him?
And she did bump him.
I thought she did
I
bump
don't know.
him.
I can't see.
I
didn't
think
see
it's
that
a
in the film.
tragedy. When we first knew
And
about
I-
it,
I've said she didn't deserve to die. But
It looks
her-
horrible for this country.
no, I think it
I
looks.
don't think
I
it
think it looks
does.
more horrible for her
Yeah.
and for people who get involved in things they have no business getting involved
Yeah,
in,
she
like
had-
the lawful execution of warrants
Well-
to get bad people out of this country.
Well, wait a minute. You also reflect on her lifestyle. I don't think that has anything to do with it, whether she was gay
That's
or whether
true.
she was
I
a
agree.
divorce
I
or-
agree.
Why do you guys
I don't
bringing
think it
that
does
up?
either. But I will
Well,
say
we
this:
Why do
bring
you
it up to
bring that up?
show. We bring it up to show her mental instability. I mean, that's why. I mean,
she's
not
out
a
in
good
the
mother.
she's
not a
out
good
in-
mother.
because
she's-
she's gay. She's
No,
she
I
has
don't have
a-
anything. I don't have any.
inability?
I don't
Come
have
on.
any problems with her being gay. I have a problem with the fact that it appears she has lost custody of 2 of her kids. She has a criminal record for putting kids in danger.
We're just trying to counter the narrative from the left that she was just a mother. She was just out there and she was overcome with emotion. She felt the need to, she just felt the need to be a part of the program and just get in there and say, hey, we're not going to put up with this.
Well, then quit talking about it. Are you talking about it to increase your listenership or to
Well, I
appease
think
your
everything
base or
we
what?
do is
Why don't you quit
unashamedly
talking
to,
about it?
Well,
it's
but the-
unashamedly to increase our listenership. That's what we do. We're in a
But
capitalist mode.
but we also try to talk about things that are relevant to the audience that is listening, and this is still up there.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. There's people rioting in other parts of the country.
It's going to remain a huge issue. I think the lady was unnecessarily murdered. I really do.
Well, I'll give you tomorrow's
that
news
man should-
today. He will not be charged. He will not be convicted.
I heard that.
The
I heard that.
investigation will set him free, and it needs to, because we don't need even well-meaning citizens. We don't need them in the middle of a active law enforcement situation. That's the last thing you need is, can you imagine the other day when we had a shooting here in Victoria, some nut job was in a Suburban. I don't know who he slept with. I really don't. But he was driving down the road shooting at our sheriff's deputies. Can you imagine if, Tammy Keeling had decided to walk in, wait a minute, he's a good boy, and she got capped? Oh,
No,
craziness.
then you're really stretching it.
am
you
I?
know.
How- what if she had just
Yeah,
decided?
you're really stretching.
How is
The
that,
lady
sir?
was driving a car. She was driving a car, and she was going about 1 mile an hour when it all happened.
So thank you for that. That's where I wanted to lead you. You're now you, from the comfort of your Barca lounger, are rating the threat level to the officer, and based on your lack of thought that this is very threatening. She was only going 4 miles an hour. Her wheels were turned to the right. As a result, we make the call that he shouldn't defend himself.
He
From-
shouldn't have shot the weapon. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. Anybody with any sense knows that that woman should have not been shot.
Anybody with any
Anybody.
sense would realize that woman had no business being where she is.
Well, I
She
agree.
made the choice. She made that
I agree,
choice.
but you
Pete.
don't shoot people. You don't shoot people for
I
doing
don't know.
something like
I don't.
that. You guys, you're way off base on this one. I'm
But
sorry.
you know what? Hey, and Pete, as always, sir, I appreciate your
that.
input. Thank you, sir. Go back up there to
Because I've said this. Should she have died? No, but she put herself in a position to be killed because she was an idiot.
yeah. By the way, the officer that was bumped by the car did end up at the hospital with some injuries. I don't know. By the way, I don't know how political those injuries were. I'm being sincere. Somebody said something about the value of Wade and Carter, and I want to see what it said. I just didn't get a chance to read it.
Hang
It's
on.
up.
I know it's something.
It's up. I think it was maybe Kathleen Leininger who said it. It was there. I know it was there. I recognize
there
the
it is.
value of Wade and Carter to this part of Texas, and thank you guys for all you do. Obviously, someone else does too, or they wouldn't be trolling you so consistently.
No,
That is the problem I have.
But here's part of the problem in this country.
I agree that's why we don't any longer engage one-on-one with just the blatant, fools.
here's
Peter
the-
McNally is a great friend of the program. He is not in that
And he sees
fool
things
category.
differently,
He
but
does, and I appreciate
There are
his
enough videos
perspective.
out there that show the officer was hit that if Pete wanted to find the videos, he could find it. He says he didn't see it. So I'm giving him credit that he didn't see that video. But you also just go stand in your car. Stand right on the edge of your bumper where your knees are maybe 3 inches from the bumper and see if you can see which way the wheels are turning. This isn't a Model T with the fenders out and you can see
Right.
the wheels.
No, you can't see.
You
where the
can't
wheels
see
are.
them. And when somebody steps on the gas and you're that close,
Yeah.
you have no idea. I had a friend who was pinned between two cars from another car rear-ending it. You know the damage it did to him?
Oh, that'll hurt you bad.
And he was just standing there in the middle of the street. And I'm not saying it's anywhere close to this, but that's what can happen. His legs were in traction. He broke both his bones and both his legs. They had to cut pieces of his bone out and then fuse them together. Then tried to then stretch them so they would grow and so the bones would fuse together, because if not, he lost 3 inches off his height. This was a guy that was a promising hockey player at 6'3", and he ended up my height at 5'11".
6'3", 5'11",
Yeah,
6'3", 5'11".
Not going to happen. But anyway, where's it going with all this?
It doesn't
This-
matter. It's your
but
show.
I know. Here it is.
Round the
This
barn.
country has stopped holding people accountable for their decisions. And they blame everybody else. Oh, it's the ICE agent's fault she died. No, you know what? If she's not there, she's not dead.
Amen. Caden, my son, 17-year-old, to me, emblematic of where the youth of our country are heading. I don't usually like to mix, it's not metaphors, but I don't like to mix my examples. Like, I wouldn't say to you, well, the left is against AR-15s, but they're pro-abortion. I don't, you can get down in those weeds and mix things up. But Caden makes a solid point. He says, people say that the woman in the car should not have been shot, but those same people seem to think that it's okay that Charlie Kirk was shot. And that's the way young people see this as a black and white issue. I mean, my son, Caden, there's no way that you're going to find him out in the middle of an ongoing law enforcement operation interfering and whining about what's going on. That's not the place to do it. And we've all agreed that ICE has been doing this during the Obama years as well.
Think about it. Everybody videotaped on their phone, took video of this woman. Videotape shows my age. Everybody took streaming video of this woman getting shot. And there were security cameras that showed different angles and everything, because that's the world we live in. And we're seeing more of this. People just pull out their phones when somebody's getting beaten on, instead of somebody stepping in and going, hey, lady, you know what? You really should just move it along.
And then she didn't. And this was like her third or fourth site to come and protest. And you got her, then you've got her spouse, no judgment implied, outside taking videos. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, maybe she worked the night shift and she didn't sleep all day and she went and did this. But from all accounts, no employer has stepped up and said, oh, she was a great employee.
She's got a huge rap
no
sheet.
job.
She left her kids, went to another state just to be in. And by the way, was a paid protester. This wasn't like she had some moral high ground she was standing on. People were like, go be disruptive. This is what you need to do.
And now her poor choices in life along the way have led to her child and children not ever knowing their mother.
Monty Howard says, Border Patrol's been asking that question for decades at their roadblocks that have been randomly present in Texas for as long as I can recall. I can give you an exact example. One time when I lived in Harlingen, I had my father with me. So I'm like probably 45. So my dad's like 71 years old. It's me and Dad, and we're blowing up to Austin to go watch a Longhorn game. We're going on a Friday night. It's Friday afternoon. There's a mile, literally a mile, of cars at the checkpoint. I pull up to the checkpoint, and a Border Patrol officer, his first question to me was, where are you headed? And you know what? I think because my daddy was with me, and because it's obvious, I mean, I'm sorry. It's obvious that we're Texans. It is. Where are you headed? I said, north, heading north. And I just looked at him, north. And he immediately kind of went, are you American citizens? And I said, yes, sir. And he goes, go ahead. And I said, thank you for your service. If I'm an American citizen, where I'm going is none of his business. None of his concern where I'm going.
I'm going to address this question because Tammy asked, ice stopping people and asking where were you born before deciding whether you should be
Never
further
happened.
questioned if you are a citizen. Why does it matter where you were born? I will give you an example of where this does happen. Enter the border to this country. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The same people that also run our borders. And they will ask you, they've asked me, are you an American citizen? Yes. Where were you born? Canada. Why does it matter? Because they're verifying the information that they have on you to make sure that your story is consistent and that you're actually who you say you are. They always ask you an interesting question when entering this country because I fly into Houston quite often, but I don't stay there. I come to Victoria or I drive to Victoria. They will always ask you, what is your final destination?
Do you tell him Victoria?
I tell them Victoria because that's the truth. If I told them Houston, I'd be lying because I'm not staying there. That's not my final destination.
That's right.
I'm now on the move to Victoria. That's why they ask you for this.
Well,
because they've been taught to identify patterns and inconsistencies in people's stories that may not add up and cause suspicion and further questioning or potential detainment or potential, you're not coming in.
When you pull into one
That's
of those
why.
checkpoints, you might notice out there that there's a Christmas tree of different lights and cameras and all kinds of things. There's one that goes right through your windshield, day or night, picks up your face. There's one it's an amazing technology. It's an amazing technology. I've seen basically a monocle that is heat sensitive. And I was at a ball game one night with a Border Patrol agent, and he said, look at that car. And I go, what car? He goes, that one way down there. And I looked at it, and I could zero in, click, 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 multiple magnifications. And the light, the illumination off of the dash of that vehicle let me see a woman's face as plain as day at about, honestly, 600 yards. And when you pull into one of those checkpoints, if there's any flag on you at all, they already know by the time you get 10 cars further down the road to them. It gets your license plate. It's the same thing. You know, when you're driving down the road and you hate these things that make your radar detector go off that say on the side of the road, your speed, 78 miles an hour.
Yep.
That thing also is reading and transmitting your license plate to the authorities. No doubt. And that's how they know, that's how they track the drug traffickers.
Asked and answered, and then still defending.
Yeah, well, it's just the shameless horation and quest for attention because irrelevance has captured their lives.
Andrew Alvarez says he tells them hopefully not behind a truck with a bunch of pipe getting ready to fall off.
Right? No kidding.
No kidding.
No kidding. Scott Bizarre says Ash is 100% correct. They ask questions they already know the answer to. They look up registration before they get to you. I had a guy tell me that he'll ask. He's a Border Patrol guy, and he would say, he goes, I've had it happen. He goes, you have to understand these career criminals aren't necessarily very smart. And I've asked the guy, hey, so where are you heading? San Antonio. Really? Where did you come from? Brownsville. Where are the drugs? In the trunk. I mean, literally that they won't answer. Why don't we try and get our friend in here?
Yeah.
And so you know what? I'm going to do that.
We'll switch gears.
You come on. We're going to
Carolyn, come on.
And feel free to grab that and move it so that it's comfortable for you. And real quick, folks, remember to reach out and go to Palace Bingo. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Get in there and have a great time. Palace there to support 7 local charities, and they do a great job, and they're great friends, and the food is great.
And give you money when you win.
Great Palace Bingo. Get in there. We've talked about the chopping block this week, $6 ballpark steaks. They've got all kinds of great meats. I went in the other day. It is Wacky Wing Wednesday. Get in today and get money off on, I think it's $1 a pound off on wings. Yep. And they have their ground hamburger down to $7.99 a pound. What's great about it is you buy a pound, and when you're done, you've got about 15 ounces. Yeah. Some other hamburgers you buy, and you've got like 4 ounces. You know, we can buy a couple of pounds. Oh, it's absolutely. Yep.
I'm going to also tell you their prime ribeye. I had one of those the other day. $3 cheaper there than at one of the larger grocery stores in town, and phenomenal flavor.
Fantastic. And then I'm trying to think of who else we need to talk about. We need to talk about Veracruz. Today is Caldo Wednesday. Get in today. It'll be cool enough to make that Caldo a great addition to your lunch.
Absolutely.
So
very satisfying.
Get into Veracruz today.
Or go buy it at lunch and take it home for a late dinner, because they usually run out by dinner time.
We've talked about White Trash Services and White Trash Site Services. Let White Trash help you have a trash-tastic day. Lock in a 1, 2, or 3 year service agreement, and they will give $25, $50, or $100 to your local volunteer fire department. The 3-year deal gets you $100, and it locks your price in for 2 years. Yep. You can't go wrong with White Trash Service. You need trash collection anyway.
Yeah, you do.
You might as well give back
have it, so
to your other folks. Yep. And then Para Vida Wellness and the Vita Cafe. We're going to have Erica Briggs come in soon. Next week,
that's what she told me.
And which means probably sometime in July. She's a very busy blonde.
Well, and I think next week's her birthday week, so we know how that goes.
She'll be depressed.
She probably won't be here. And don't forget to get by Chesnick Furniture for all your furniture needs, all the accoutrement.
There you go. So look, okay.
Carolyn's back with us.
Carolyn, hi. So we're gonna. So Carolyn kind of looks like Kilroy, you know. We kind of because the camera's a little bit high. But I'm gonna let Ash walk over there and no, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Do us a favor, because you do it better than we do. I think I could articulate it and you would go, wow, Brent, that was pretty good. But tell people what you do and why you do it, and tell them how we can help.
Yeah, so I am, I'm the I'm the director of development and communications for Restoration House Ministries. So it's one thing I really appreciate about all the businesses you guys just mentioned. They're all local, guys. All of those businesses were started here by local Victorians, and so is RHM, right? By one of our very own, Teresa Clackman, started inviting women into her home to experience restoration. So anybody with trauma can come into our program, not pay for anything. We're going to cover everything, and we're going to provide them the space they need to heal, which we've learned right? That's what it takes. It takes focus, safety, right? And the love of Jesus to surround these people
Amen.
and bring them out. And we have an incredible, I don't know if I've even shared this with you guys. If you actually come in, it usually takes about 8 months to 2 years. But if you commit to that program and you graduate through that program, you have like a 90 to a 95% chance of odds of not going back to whatever brought you in. And in
That's awesome.
this demographic, that is incredible. Incredible.
Now you're embarking on, I think you've acquired the property to do
Yes.
the same thing for
Yes.
men that you've done for women.
Yes,
Because
we are
I'm
so
thinking
excited.
Ash probably should check in for maybe 2 weeks and then a couple of weekend
Hey.
follow-ups.
It's a 6-month commitment. We don't play small fries.
I can't do without him for 6 months, but maybe we could do a remote broadcast.
We'll plug him in. We'll do
Yeah.
a
Can-
virtual.
Can I bring my
connection.
7 dogs?
Well, he
Oh,
wants to bring his
oh.
dogs and his girlfriend. But other than that,
Well, we wholeheartedly believe that when you restore men, like you restore the family, and that's how you restore our community.
well, your founder's story, we went, Ash and I went really to support Jasmine and In
Oh, she's
Abundance
awesome.
Ministries. But we went to see the Brian Free and Assurance concert, which really turned into a church service, which was
Always.
phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And your founder got up and shared her story. And I was so humbled, right, Ash, by her humility and her ability to articulate what she had been through, where she had been, and how literally that the love of Jesus Christ had brought her back from thoughts of suicide and all kinds of things.
Well, and multiple suicide attempts. Like she
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
after her own life.
But for her, but absolutely, I told Ash, and it's we all stereotype, right? We can't help it. It's part of who we are. It's a defense mechanism. I told Ash, I go, I've never known anybody that I would describe more as stable
Yeah.
than her.
Yeah.
Totally grounded, totally stable. It is as if, like you hear people talk about God cured me from addiction. God cured her from self-doubt and insecurity, and then empowered her and gave her a message,
Yeah.
which I think you guys are doing phenomenal work. You know, we always say that God doesn't call the prepared.
Yeah. The qualified. Yeah.
God prepares the
Yeah.
call.
Our program is absolutely unique. Like, and she studied a bunch of other programs, but God led her into the specific decisions. And our program is very simple. It's very strict, but it works. She does all of this without any certification, without any formal training.
Well,
And
it's
that's how you
awesome.
know that, like, when God gives a decree, like, it works.
The
Like,
proof is in the pudding.
yeah.
That's why Moses didn't have a degree.
no, I did.
So
Like,
They
and
had a couple
RHM
tablets, though.
he did
So just gonna throw it out here. RHM has been here for 16 years,
Oh,
over
you were like
16 years,
11.
y'all. No,
You were like
Oh.
11.
a little bit, yeah. So why I'm here, though, more than just that, we are extending the restoration of the home to the community through this incredible event that we call the 1,000 Strong Overcoming Obstacles 5K. And so
Okay.
you can come experience that transformation that our residents experience every single day in our program this one day, April 18th. It's a Saturday. So in our race, like, it draws all kinds of people. You got a couple of people that are out there for competition. There's this incredible guy that runs it with like a weighted vest every year.
Right.
But most people who come, this is their
Shaw.
very first 5K. And even if you have to crawl, like, you are welcome to come and experience this race. We built obstacles
You
out
might
there.
lose your child if you make them crawl 5
I mean,
You have-
in the mud pits especially, they're
Oh,
deep.
it's
Come
like a
prepared.
Tough Mudder type
It is
thing.
exactly like a Tough Mudder.
Okay.
It's like an entry level Tough Mudder. We have multiple mud pits. We have the sheriff's office come out and challenge you. The Army recruiting station comes out and challenges you. And then I said, like, our permanent, we have walls, we have monkey bars, we have balance beams.
At the end, there's a
Ice-
crazy
ice-
lady in a Honda Pilot, and she like
There's an
steers her
ice
car at
plunge.
you.
We added an ice plunge. Yeah, Otto's loaned us some big old metal troughs
There
because
you
we're here in
go.
Victoria. And you can jump in,
Nice.
experience some refreshment.
Then you get to dodge the Honda Pilot
Yep.
right there at
There, right
the
at the
finish
end.
line. Yeah. I
We
like it.
also we line the finish line with health-minded vendors. So spectators are welcome, volunteers are welcome. Just come out and hang out with us
April
that day.
18th
Mhm.
is a Saturday.
Yes.
And this event is going to take place roughly where?
Patriot Park.
Oh, that's great.
So, like, again, another original, right, Victorian thing. If you're not familiar, Blue Waters,
Hats
Saxet
off to
Lake.
Gary Burns for
Yep.
helping put
Yep.
all that together. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the city like helps us. Like, they come out and dig our mud pits. By the way, thank God for the
Nice.
city.
Nice. How can people sign up and take part in this?
Our website. So
Cody.
restoration, houseministries.org. You go there, you're going to see a big, loud picture for the race. Also, if you want to be a vendor, if you want to be a part of this, if you want to sponsor this, you want to get your name on this, that's where you go.
We may have to get
Sounds
with
good.
Erica Briggs and Vita Cafe and see if she wants to have kind of a sampling deal
Yeah.
out there. So April 18th is a Saturday. You can sign up now at,
restorationhouseministries.org.
there you go. And we will have that linked. Ash is going to put it in the comments now, restorationministries.org.
Restoration House.
Restoration
House Ministries.
House Ministry. So we do that on purpose. Then it sticks in their head. If you say, 895-4700, that's 895. If you do that enough, then it sticks in people's head. Or then again, maybe I just messed up. restorationhouseministries.org.
I'm missing an R. There we go.
There you go.
Now it's good.
And you can sign up and prepare. You've got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, and this
It's
is
time to do it.
this is the right time to get in. You've got plenty of time to start walking, right? To start climbing some stairs, get yourself
Start dodging
prepared.
cars. Maybe I'm going to train a little bit on Laurent. I'm just going to run
There
out
you go.
there.
It's, Cody says he's already got it on the
Cody's going to have it on our website. Folks, when you want to know what's going on with the folks that come in and talk to us, just go to wadeandcarter.com and it pops up in our news section. So you'll be there. There'll be
awesome.
a direct link to restorationhouseministries.org.
And I really encourage you guys, like, even if you don't want to give in and experience the awesomeness of the race, just come hang out with us that day. It's an incredible atmosphere.
And you'll have some folks that are involved in the ministry there.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing from our residents. You'll hear some testimonies. You'll hear people who have been empowered by the race. Y'all, we had a 5-year-old run the race
Wow.
like a year ago with his dad.
As
Those
you go through the
pictures.
mud pit, the house residents beat you with broomsticks. It's great fun.
More, please.
It's a release for them. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I think y'all do amazing things, and we like to have fun with you, and you're a good sport. But it is incredible the work you do, and I know from its genesis that it's God inspired, and
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic,
Yeah.
selfless ministry that I'm very proud that, and I'm glad you thought of us, and I hope you'll come back anytime.
Carolyn,
In fact,
thank you
you
for
need to
stopping
come
by.
back between now
Oh,
and
yeah.
April to talk.
You'll
about
hear
it.
me in March because
Yeah.
if you want a T-shirt, you have to sign up before March. I really
Okay.
encourage you, don't wait.
And come back in a couple of weeks in February, and we'll get this thing plugged and get a final push to get the T-shirts.
Fantastic. Kathleen
Awesome.
Langer says, what a great program. I'd like to think she's talking about Restoration House Ministries, but I'm pretty sure she's talking about Wade and Carter.
She might be.
Hope you guys have a great day. We love you. Have a great day. Be safe. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, if everybody loved themselves and their neighbors the way that Restoration House Ministries loves on people they don't even know, every place would be a better place. So God bless you all. Have a great day. Vote Republican.
I'm a
Bye, folks.
See you.